So much like about half the world, I picked up some Sorcery during their Kickstarter. I mean, why not, right? I got a few boxes of it to crack open, figuring maybe I can get a set of all of them, right? So I started ripping them. I ripped one box so far. I got my second box here I'm opening up. And I noticed a couple things that kind of I didn't know beforehand. This pack's not so bad, but usually you can tell exactly where you cut it to. I mean, it's not just by counting cards either. You can tell exactly where you cut it from the where these ones, the special, the exceptional ones, and the elite and the ordinary. I don't know what was changed on their blades or whatever, but you can usually, at least in my experience, I can tell exactly where to split it. Another thing I noticed is there's no numbers on these cards. I don't know if that's just ignorance or laziness, but there's like, what, 400 cards in this set or something, and there's no way to denote them other than going through the naming and the type line, which is another questionable thing. At first, it's neat, right? It's really interesting. Like, you see an exceptional spirits crash into shore, or an elite spirit. So you have exceptional, elite, ordinary, unique, I think is another one. That's neat and kind of cool for the first like 5 minutes, and then it's really friggin' annoying because it's an entire type line to read for the rarity of a card. Not my cup of tea, if you will. Another thing, and this is a little bit more important actually, is at some point they chose to change their copyright symbol here to this weird @ symbol. It's not going to focus on it properly for you to see, but you can look it up. If I get a chance, I'll take a screenshot and post it somewhere on here. But there's a little @ symbol there instead of the copyright symbol. The art isn't owned by them, of course. They have the rights to print it on these cards, but they don't have full rights from the artists to use this artwork. So the artwork is actually copyrighted the artist, which is normal. It's common that happens at times. But they changed it to this weird @ symbol to denote alpha for the card set, because, you know, they couldn't put it anywhere else on this giant card. But anyways, that's not a copyright symbol. And as an artist, these artists should be not too happy about that, because I should say copyright them, because I'm sure that was part of their contracts, that the artwork was to be denoted as copyright their ownership. It was copyright before. I guess they're going to change it on future printings, if there is any future printings, because ultimately I think everyone that ever wants Sorcery has gotten some now in the market. It's a glorified art card set, really. Another thing, and this is possibly even more so, I don't know the specifics or the specific details on it, other than the fact that this card pack says the name of the card game. It says, you know, an Eric's Curiosa game, because, you know, you need the company that made it. Doesn't even say it's copywritten by them or trademarked by them or anything. I don't say it on the back here. No, there's nowhere on here that lends any copyright or trademark to the name Sorcery Contested Realm, which I thought was Realms, but that's an aside originally, or a copyright or trademark on the name Eric's Curiosa or anything like that. So nothing to denote that they actually own the rights to those names, exclusive rights to those names. And on the back, we have the simple line: an old school fantasy card game for players with a rich imagination, tactical nerve, and an appreciation for hand-painted art. This weird @alpha symbol, or a alpha symbol. Old school's in quotes, which is a misuse of the word quotes, because it's old school, meaning it's not old school. Maybe it isn't a misuse, whatever. But if you notice, that's what's on there. I flip up the fold line. There's nothing under the fold line. What country were these cards printed in? Where were these sourced from? I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure part of international trade laws requires you to denote where a product comes from. At least in North America, we need to denote if a product was manufactured in Canada, USA, China, Mexico, because different tariffs and different rules and laws apply to it as it transfers across borders. Pretty sure most of the rest of the world is very similar, but there's nothing on here, and that's just either, I think that's just plain ignorance. Like, there needs to be something on here that says where it was printed, you know, manufactured in China, printed in China. Even Apple does it, right? Designed in California, manufactured in China. Like, I say even Apple as if they're a small company. Even Apple, in the sense of they try and push that it's US because it's designed in California, but it's made overseas. There's nothing on here that says that. Also, there is nothing on the box that says it anywhere. It just says the same thing, that it's an old school game. It's created by Eric Olafson and Nicholas Reynolds. It's got some art on it. It has a scratch and sniff on the bottom to make sure you have an authentic box of Sorcery. Because, you know, when they sold 1 million of these, I guess counterfeiting is what they were worried about. Not that everyone that wants one, that ever wants one, has got one now. I'm not here to dump on it necessarily, but like, for something that's supposed to be this high elite, you know, we're better than everything else in the world, they kind of really dropped the ball on a lot of it, right? Like, these cards are nice, they're soft texture and all that, but I'm thoroughly disappointed by the simple ignorance of card numbers, copyright ownership to artists, location of manufacture. These are things that, okay, well, maybe the copyright to artists is a nicety, but I believe it's probably in their contracts. Card numbers is a must. You don't have those on there. There's no way to denote these other than taking pictures and putting in full descriptions. It's just stupid. I'll call it what it is. And the place of manufacture, I do think that is against trade laws. Maybe a lawyer can chime in and let me know, but I'm pretty sure you can't be shipping these boxes or packs cross-border without that information on them. There's other things too, I think, like recycling details and things like that, like just stuff that companies are supposed to do, companies that really care about being companies for longer than a flash in the pan Kickstarter. And I don't think those have been done, because they're not on these boxes and packs, and they really kind of need to be. That's my 2 cents on it. It is beautiful art. Could be digital or traditional. It doesn't really matter. It all looks the same. Your digital inks and paints are pretty damn close. It's all a matter of convenience. I do 99% digital art just because of convenience sake. You have a family, you have other requirements. It's hard to do all traditional art. Not better or worse art, it's just digital. You also can't tell on a card this size if it's digital or not, honestly. I've done some digital art that looks authentic. I've done some authentic art that looks digital. Some traditional art that looks digital. You can't tell me that you look at that and say that's definitely traditional art. It could be digital. You have no idea. It doesn't really matter. So when you're selling yourself on traditional art, but ignoring all other facets of what is required, you're not really in it for the long haul. You really don't care about the details or the larger picture. It's just all about the cash and the flair, I guess, in the end. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling for this. Cards look nice. I'm glad I got some, but I don't see any long-term value to it. It's not, they don't seem to have cared to take any research whatsoever into what's required of them as a game company. So it is really, as it says, Eric's Curiosa, and it's just his fanciful fun. So he had some fun, he made some money, he got some art, and in the process ignored probably a bunch of international law. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching, and hey, if you need anything from Sorcery, drop me a line. I got a bunch of packs to open, and I don't foresee myself playing anything but the pre-constructed decks, so let me know what you're looking for. Maybe I got it for you. Talk to you later. Bye.